Dreams do not have a filter that your normal, polite, waking self puts up.
Welcome to the hidden meaning of dreams with Sweet Georgia Pam.
It does matter what the dreamer themselves associates with those things that come up in the dream.
Spiritual director, dream expert, author, and educator, Sweet Georgia Pam is here to remind us that dreams are the answer. They're always with you. They know you better than you know yourself, and they're always trying to tell you the truth.
There's some back and forth here between you and some awareness.
And now your host, Melissa Carter.
SweetGeorgiaPam.com is her website. It's also her name, Sweet Georgia Pam. We're based in Atlanta. That's why we call it Georgia. And she's sweet and she's Pam. And she's got a free downloadable guide on her website. Plus, sign up for her newsletter. We'll tell you why that's important. She's on social media, Sweet Georgia Pam. Sweet Georgia Pam, my friend, how are you?
Hi, love. I'm good. And this is Melissa.
My name is Melissa Carter. There was a song called Sweet Melissa.
Sweet Melissa. Oh,
yes. There you go. Yeah, I never say my own name, do I? Sweet Georgia. But I learned in radio. So my background is in radio, and you have to say something 7 times for it to go in your head. That's why you see ads the same ad run so often, is because it takes you 7 times before you actually start paying attention to the advertisement.
We learned that as a teacher too. I learned that the kids need to see it, they need to write it, they need to say it out loud, they need those things. That repetition helps.
So just so you know, if you need to memorize something, I did a professional play once. I got paid for it years ago. And to memorize my lines, it was Anthony Hopkins who said he writes down his script 3 times. The first time he copies. The second time he tries to see if he remembers anything and fills in the blank. And by the 3rd time he writes his script out, his words, he should be able to do it without looking at the original. For him, it's 3 times with the writing. But anyway, Sweet Georgia Pam, Sweet Georgia Pam, Sweet Georgia Pam, Sweet Georgia Pam. So today I wanted to see if you will talk about a topic that several people have asked you to talk about. Listeners want to know about pregnancy dreams. So I don't have a specific dream for you. It seems like a lot of people just want to know about either dreaming you're pregnant or the types of dreams you have while you're pregnant. I know it's maybe 2 different thoughts, but still just around pregnancy dreams.
It is such a common question, because when people dream that they are pregnant, that is a jarring experience. If you're not pregnant, if the dream is particularly vivid about it, there's a whole lot of ways that those particular dreams stick out for people. They kind of are either, and if you are a woman of childbearing age, then it has this predictive tone and you wake up wondering.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of reasons that pregnancy dreams are really frequently asked question for me. Let's start then with pregnancy dreams, and then we'll talk about dreaming while pregnant.
Okay.
Because they are 2 different, but they sort of go hand in hand with each other. If you dream that you're pregnant, the common interpretation is new birth. Something in your waking life you are giving birth to. That can be physical. It could be becoming a pet owner. It could be, becoming a caretaker of your parent. It's something that you're taking under your role of responsibility. Or it could be, a lot of authors talk about writing a new book as like giving birth to something and then sending it out into the world. So it could be a creative project that you are pregnant with and giving birth to. So the details in the dream, in the pregnancy dream, can tell you a lot.
And the emotions, we got to reiterate, it's and don't forget the emotions that you're feeling during the dream. See, I'm learning.
Sweet Melissa and Sweet Georgia Pam, dream duo.
I'm learning.
No, you're right. So the emotional state of the dream, not the emotions you had when you wake up.
Right.
The emotions you have when you're dreaming. So it was when you wake up, you might go, that was sometimes gross or terrifying, or I'm disgusted because of the mechanics of giving birth or pregnancy dreams. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, that was wonderful. If it wasn't wonderful in the dream, those are the emotions we pay attention to. Or if it didn't seem gross in a dream, those are the emotions we pay attention to. So yes, emotional details of the dream are critical. But the next thing that I would look at is, did you experience, how do I say this? Were you pregnant or did you give birth?
Okay.
If you were pregnant, that is an internal experience that you are in the dream processing something internally, which means there's something going on that is still in gestation. It is still in development internally for you, and it is not ready to survive in the outside world. So if you're writing a book and you dream that you're pregnant and you're only 3 months pregnant, it might suggest that the book isn't ready for the world yet. You're still really developing the concept. If you're pregnant, that is internal processing going on for you. If you give birth, that is a new responsibility in the outside world that needs extra care because it's brand new.
Right. Interesting.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
It makes total sense.
Doesn't it make you want to hear like, give me a dream and let me ask those questions?
Right. Yes. Which people can do. It's Sweet Georgia Pam. You can DM her on social media because we would love to interpret that specific pregnancy dream.
Yeah, comment on the where you get your podcasts on this episode. Like, go leave a comment or come find me and let me know the episode that you're referencing and what your dream experience was that's similar to that, and we'll
absolutely
use that as a jumping off point to go deeper.
We will we will readdress any topics or even new ones, and this is your podcast, so let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah, tell us what else we should talk about. So that would be the pregnancy piece. Is it internal, external? What is your emotional state? And then who else is involved in the dream? Or, okay, stop there, Pam. Who else is involved in the dream? Pregnancy dreams tend to be more nonsensical, more illogical than other dreams. I'm not really sure why that is. I'd have to think out loud about that to figure it out. But it tends to be like, I was 3 months pregnant, and then suddenly I was at the hospital. My sister was giving birth, and then I had a baby. Like, it tends to really be disjointed, pregnancy dreams do. And I think that might be because it's symbolic of something that you're giving birth to. So if I have a project at work and there's a team effort going on in this project, but it's ultimately my baby, quote unquote, then my pregnancy or my giving birth might take place in the workplace, or it might take place, at something that I associate my coworkers with. So it's disjointed, but if you can figure out what is new or coming into your life that your dream is sort of giving commentary about, you can really make sense of all that chaos in a pregnancy dream. Who else is in the dream? Is it internal? Have you given birth yet or not? Your emotions. And then, I knew I was going to forget. Hold, please. Hang on. Nope.
Well, I just love there's so much in your mind that you're trying to portray, and it'll come back. Well,
I got it.
She got it. Knew it.
I got it. So here's what the word inherited is what stuck in my head, which is it could also kind of have to do with what you pass along, what you leave as your legacy, and what has been inherited that is now being developed into something new, into the next generation of that thing. So pregnancy dreams can touch on so much that it's a universal experience. It's very common for people to have dreams that they're pregnant. And they, again, we've talked about this before, but your literal mind comes on board when you wake up. And so your first reflection on a dream is literal. And if it is pregnancy and that's nowhere in your realm coming up in the future in your waking life, then you're freaking out. But there's so much it could be related to. That's why you need to sign up for the newsletter at sweetgeorgiapam.com, because coming up in 2023, Pam's going to help you even further find the way in order to properly reflect on your dream. That's so well said, Melissa. That the things that are in the works for the coming are it's just going to be, it's useful tools. How can I help you further integrate dreams and quickly make more sense of them? That's where I'm going in the coming months. because
that you're going to give birth to next year.
Yes, right. My pregnancy dream right now it's still in gestation, so it's in development right now. I can't tell you about it. But that's why the reason I'm obsessed with like what's the next tool that I can churn out, what's the next freebie I can offer that is helpful for you is because I can't be with you every time you have a dream, and I want to.
You're serving people to help them because again, dreams are there to help you learn about yourself. Now, if somebody is pregnant and having dreams, I'm sure those I did not give birth to my son. I did not experience the pregnancy or the dreams, but I know you did. And you know that you've talked to people who have.
Yes. Dreaming while pregnant is a very real thing. There are physiological reasons for it. But I also want to say it doesn't negate the significant symbolism of what you dream, but take into account the hormonal changes, the impending lifestyle change that you are emotionally processing, the emotions that come along. For me personally, there was a huge thing I didn't expect, which is as a pregnant person, I had to allow myself to gain weight. And the emotional spikes that happened as a result of that, that I went through to try to, I didn't expect that to come up. So when it did, it was jarring. And so there's lots and lots of emotional processing going on. And in the third trimester, especially, dreams become particularly vivid. I know that we've talked about before body changes like fever, when we had talked about fever dreams.
Right.
That when your body is fighting or working very hard on something, your unconscious mind is constantly tending to that, even though you aren't on a conscious level tending to that. And your unconscious mind is where your dreams are created. Side note, that's where sometimes people have dreams that save their life because they recognize a warning or something going on in their body before the symptoms show up consciously.
Right. And we've talked about that in a former podcast too.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with dreaming while pregnant, that all of the work your body is doing on all the levels, hormonal, physiological, and then emotionally, the emotional toll really doesn't get enough attention because as a woman, who is pregnant, maybe you're expected to be excited all the time, but maybe secretly you hate having to buy new pants every other week. And it pulls on your own past trauma. So there's a whole lot that goes into the physiological and emotional and spiritual changes when having a baby. All of that feeds into more vivid dreams, more stark experiences in dreams, more fear dreams. There's a whole lot that goes into all of that. I would encourage somebody who's pregnant to just record their dreams and don't try to work them, but know that they are not necessarily telling you that your baby, because they can be pretty, you can dream that your baby is born with 4 arms. They can be pretty, because the experience you're about to go through as a pregnant woman, you've never been through, you can't necessarily predict, it's going to be horribly painful, terrifying, potentially, the imagination can run away with itself which
people don't talk about enough. People don't talk about enough, right?
So that's what I'm saying, right? The emotional toll that or experience that a woman has while pregnant, you don't make space for in waking life. So it shows up in the dream state as a way as a pressure valve release. So I would encourage pregnant women to record their dreams and then just go, thank you for that dream. So I don't have to feel that way in waking life, and then leave them there. I wouldn't work them while you're pregnant. And then maybe it would be something you could reflect on, like, here's the journey of my pregnancy and here's the journey that my dreams were having during my pregnancy.
Right. What I love about the podcast too is I think it gives people permission to not be afraid of their dreams, right? Your dreams are your friend and trying to talk to you, but it's not, like you said, it's not not for your logical mind to always interpret, because you're going to misunderstand the message, right? where like you mentioned, and we've said before, body changes, the boundaries of normal formation of things when you're sick, or when, like you said, your body is going through something like pregnancy, which is not an illness, but it's still something your body's working. Like you can have those, what your logical mind think is grotesque, but your subconscious mind is like, no, it's just the form is changing because your body's too busy working on something else to make it into a waking life form.
Grotesque is the right. I couldn't find that word. So I'm glad that you helped me out there. And your dreams don't have a filter. That's a blessing and a curse.
Right.
They're always trying to tell you a version of truth, but they're not literal. It's not a literal truth, but it is a spiritual or a moral truth, or an intimate experiential truth that you're having, that you're not allowing yourself to have. So they don't have a filter, which means we're going to be experience some of these. It's what you said. It's artistic thinking.
Right.
Artistic.
I didn't say artistic thinking, but that's what I meant. And that's a beautiful way to put it. Yes.
That's what I heard you say. I'm like, she got it right. It's artistic. Good
well,
job.
and it makes me think too, and this is a weird analogy because I know we always bring up analogies, but your dreams are like tea, like you're the tea bag. And if whatever is extracted into the tea is coming from the tea bag. So to me, dreams are the extraction of what's going on inside of you, and you need to pay attention to the flavor. I don't know. I'm not as eloquent as you.
Are we going to have a line of teas?
We should have a line of teas, right? Teas are not on the horizon anytime yet, but there are things on the horizon for Sweet Georgia Pam. So go to sweetgeorgiapam.com, sign up for her newsletter. She will make the announcements first through her newsletter in the coming months of what is new on the horizon for her. Also, she's got a free downloadable guide called 6 Nights to Better Dream Recall. If you need to work with your dreams and you want to remember them, that's a good way to do it. And she also has one-on-one sessions available on the website if you really want to dig deep into a recurring dream, a pregnancy dream, whatever it is. Pam's there for you. So
let's do that.
Yeah.
Do those things. Those are the good ones.
All right. Well, until next time, while people do that,
sweet dreams.
The content in this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Pam Muller is not a licensed mental health professional. If you or someone you know suffers from severe, persistent nightmares, please seek medical help.